While it's typical this time of year to see an uptick in cold and flu cases, this is also when doctors start to see an increase in what's called respiratory syncytial virus, better known as RSV. The virus can be especially dangerous in infants and young children. Past Friday, the city's health department reported a jump in positive cases from 8 to 11% in the span of a week, as well as an increase in emergency room visits for children under the age of 5. This time last year, the positivity rate for RSV, as it's called, was just at 2.3%. Joining us now for an important conversation, Kaelyn Bogucki, a Northwest Indiana mom whose son Vinnie caught RSV just last month at just 8 weeks old. He's still struggling with lingering symptoms today. We also have Dr. Dan Johnson, chief of the pediatric infectious diseases section at Comer's Hospital, to talk with us about what parents need to know. Kaelyn, first to you, the mother. Your son's symptoms started with a cough. When did you realize that it was potentially something more serious?
Yeah, so it started with a cough like on a Wednesday. We knew that there was a cough running through the house. It wasn't until Saturday, Sunday, I started just noticing some physical changes to him. It looked like mild retractions. So it was just a few days that we had noticed past the cough. He had been seen by the doctor and they said, hey, things will get worse before they get better. Things got really worse. We thought it was just a cough, turns into RSV. Yeah, so it was just, things took a turn pretty quickly, I'd say.
Okay, Kaelyn. Oh, what an adorable child there too. Is he hospitalized there while he's hooked up to oxygen? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, so that's him at Comer's actually. So we started at our local hospital, started at a doctor appointment. Doctor appointment lasted 5 minutes. They said, get him to the local hospital. He was admitted to the peds floor here in Indiana. Then it was in the evening time that he was airlifted to Comer's Children's Hospital. And that's where their team, they had him on high flow oxygen. He was on fluid. They have an incredible team there that really just gave us the reassurance of what they were seeing with Vinnie was within the norm of RSV. And he was just cared for by their entire team. Respiratory was coming in, nutrition, they even had nurses from the PICU team come in because he was borderline PICU. Yeah,
they do have a remarkable team there, world-class. From that world-class team, now Dr. Johnson. Doctor, have you been seeing an uptick in RSV? That's a double-pronged question. Have you been seeing an uptick, and does it seem there are more cases than usual considering the time of year?
Absolutely. Kaelyn really described perfectly what happens with a young child who gets RSV. And it's such good news that he's recovered so well and is back at home improving. And what we're seeing right now is about a month or so early compared to historic norms. But the pandemic has really changed the timing of RSV in Chicago, most likely because of the fact that we've had some unusual seasons the last couple of years. And so as a consequence, we have more people who are at risk and they're showing up sooner.
Kaelyn, another question to you. Before this happened and happened in your own home, were you aware, had you ever heard of RSV?
So Ben's our second child, so of course I've heard of RSV. I've seen it in Facebook posts. I've heard just, in passing, oh, it's flu and RSV season. Never really have looked into it, never really gave it a second thought, actually. Yeah, it wasn't until Vinnie got this sick that I really was like, wow, there needs to be so much more awareness about this for parents out there. So no, it wasn't really on my radar so much, not like how COVID and the flu are.
So we know Vinnie, thank goodness, is doing better. That per the doctor, he's back at home. Dr. Johnson, what should parents in particular look out for? We know Kaelyn was clearly on top of it here. Let's get the baby in here. We can always use more babies in, he's adorable. Dr. Johnson, what should parents look out for? Kaelyn obviously was very astute here, didn't exactly know what she was dealing with, but knew well enough to take her young child, instead of just dealing with it at home, take it immediately to a doctor. Your advice for parents?
Kaelyn described what you should be looking for. So retractions, the rapid movement of the chest, the sucking in of the chest is one sign of increased problems in breathing. Very rapid breathing. We consider somewhere usually in the 50 to 60 range as kind of being an upper limit before you should consider going in. If a young child has fever, particularly children below the age of 1 to 2 months, then we also recommend that you come into the emergency room. You've listed some of the important symptoms to look for, but those are cold symptoms. And by and large, as long as a baby can take the breast or is able to drink or eat, we say okay to stay home, unless you're that very young child who's below the age of 2 months. But once they begin to have trouble with eating or they're breathing as rapidly as I described, then it's time to get a medical opinion.
Okay, so the two big ones are trouble eating and then rapid breathing. Kaelyn, if you want to bring Vinnie in, he's the star of the show here, and we're so happy that he's home. You know, we know as a new mother, you know, every time you hear a cough, you're triggered. Oh no, is something going on? Do I take him to a? What was the impetus that pushed you over the edge to say, no, we need to go to a doctor immediately? And then what is your advice to other parents?
Yeah, so I mean, you guys saw the videos of Vinnie. He's a very well-built child, very healthy, to say the least. He loves to eat and he has great weight. It was whenever he started turning away from nursing that I was really worried. That's not like my child at all. So it was through the night that I couldn't get him to latch. He didn't want to take a bottle, and I'm like, this is not him, you know, at all. And then I started hearing audibles. So he started to wheeze, and that retraction started to get deeper. And then I even noticed like head bobbing as well. This all happened through the night, and it was first thing in the morning, Monday. I actually called the on-call doctor, knowing full well that the office opens in an hour and a half, and said, do I take him to the emergency room or should I bring him in? They said, get him in here. We'll see him right now. So I think that it was like doctor said, you know, once a child starts showing that they don't want to eat anymore, there's probably something more serious going on.
Yeah, that is always a key warning sign there. Kaelyn, thank you very much. Send Vinnie, although he may not know it, our very best in hoping for a quick recovery. Thank you for joining us to inform us on this very important topic. And Dr. Dan Johnson, thank you for what you do always at Comer Children's Hospital. And thank you for joining us here on the stream. Thank you both this Tuesday.